Hi, my name is Olga, and I'm a virtual tour guide in Kyiv, Ukraine. On my channel, I'm telling you the stories about amazing places in Kyiv, around Kyiv. I'm showing you beautiful corners of Europe where I travel to. And I'm very grateful to all of you for your contributions, for buying me coffees, for your generosity, for the fact that you are here with me on my channel. Unfortunately, some of my videos are very disturbing, but I cannot be silent, and I have to tell you about the inhuman atrocities that are happening in Ukraine, in the heart of Europe. They are committed by Russian soldiers. They continue to shock the civilized world. For me, as a Ukrainian, it's not possible to be silent about this. And I think that perpetrators, they have to be taken to responsibility. They have to pay the price for the suffering of the innocent people and for the suffering they made on Ukrainians as a nation. Usually I ask you to subscribe, to like the video. It's very important to me, but today I would like to ask you to share this video, because if you send it to your friends, to your acquaintances, that will make more people get to know about the war crimes that are happening right now. It's difficult to speak about them. It's difficult even to pronounce certain words. It is hard for me to make it. Will be hard for you to watch it. It took me a couple of weeks to be able to speak about this video without bursting into tears on camera. But I think that it is important, and we need to know about this. A few weeks ago, the Russians published a video, and on this video, Russian soldiers are cutting the head of a captured Ukrainian soldier, and he's struggling for his life. He's screaming, he's asking for mercy. So this is the video that I'm going to discuss with you today, and I even don't know what to begin with. It's really shocking, and it was done probably last summer because there is greenery all around the bushes, the leaves. But this is the video of the brutal murder of Ukrainian prisoner of war. The footage shows how a Russian soldier was cutting the head of Ukrainian captive who was still alive, and he was doing that with ordinary military knife that wasn't sharp. And the prisoner was in shock. He was shouting because he was in pain. And the people who were doing this, the occupiers, they were giving comments during the execution like, "Get working, brothers, break his spine. Have you never cut off head?" And everything was done with a lot of swear words. And then the Russians showed the head of the Ukrainian on the camera. They said that it should be sent to the soldier's commander, and then they impaled the head of Ukrainian soldier to the rusty iron rod in front of the tree. And actually, we even don't know the names and the faces of the murderers because they were wearing masks. Probably they were Wagner group soldiers and they had Syrian experience before. But that is a brutal, shocking murder. And Russians were later showing on the camera the armory of Ukrainians. And the whole forest was the scene, the crime scene. Probably many more atrocities will come to light when the war is over. And I cannot leave here any kind of pictures or videos because it is really very hard to watch. If you hunt, if you will look, you will definitely find this in the net, but you will never be able to forget it. Please remember that once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. It will always stay like in your mind. I don't believe that this kind of people, or they are not people, this kind of monsters who are cutting heads in Ukraine, they will be miraculously transformed in the peaceful, law-abiding citizens when they return home after the war. Because such things, they mark the people. They just turn the people into the bloodthirsty predators. They feel like they can take the human life and they will not be punished, and in future they might be inspired to repeat it. So be careful when you travel to Russia after war, because can you imagine like thousands of bloodthirsty orcs who are wandering freely in the Russian lands? In future, probably it will be insecure in Russia and human life will be very, very cheap. This beheading of Ukrainian soldiers should boil the blood of any kind of normal person. But we really didn't know what Russians are. We didn't know what kind of monsters they are and what they are capable of doing. Now we know that they are capable of everything. What frustrates me the most is when I read the different articles or just comments from people from free world, from the democratic countries, saying that, oh no, these are war crimes and they are done by both sides. And technically, yes, war crimes are present on both sides. But there is the huge difference between the attitude of Ukrainian and Russia towards these crimes. Because in Ukraine we investigate, we prosecute, we punish the perpetrators of war crimes, and in Russia they just give them medals, they give them promotions. Ukrainian government and the military command try to prevent soldiers from committing such a kind of crimes, and Russian government and Russian military command, they orders to make them, they rewards such crimes. And last but not the least, that from the Ukrainian side there are just a few of them, and in Russian, there are multiple number of Russian war crimes. They are committed really daily. There is no comparison, no equivalence between our countries. Yes, we have war on our Ukrainian land, but Ukrainians behave in a manner that can be expected from their modern society. And Russians are behaving like they are not human, really like some kind of fictional creatures, like monstrous creatures. Ukraine is doing the best we can to win this war in a civilized manner. And when the organizations like United Nations or Amnesty International produce reports, and in these reports they equate two sides, two countries, it just totally blows my mind and infuriates me very much, because there is no equivalence. Russia is evil, Ukraine is normal. Ukraine is a human country, and we have our own problems, our own flaws, but we are not monsters. Russians are monsters, and this video of beheading Ukrainian prisoner of war demonstrate that. All this is just beyond the limit, beyond the humanity, beyond the understanding, beyond the perception, beyond the forgiveness. It's pure, plain, simple barbarianism. And I hope that the people who commit this crime, they will face the true justice. This video really is very hard to watch, and it will stay with you day and night. And it's hard to imagine that it's really happening. It's not the documentary. Remember that Putin asked for fighters from Syrian battlefields to join the invasion of Ukraine, and this is the type of brutality he really wanted. So let's discuss what was the reaction of Moscow. Peskov said that nothing is clear what happened, and I fear that there are more crimes that happened, but they are not seen. So the Russian Federation tries to ignore these images and videos, deny them, or even blame us Ukrainians for doing that. It's still bewildering for me to hear that many people are speaking about the negotiations with Russia at this stage of the war. We are fighting for our land. We are sacrifices the most precious lives of our soldiers. We are fighting with this evil regime. And I think that Russian criminals should face justice for the sickening atrocities that they committed. Castration of prisoners of war, making prisoners of war dig their own graves, beheading the screaming, struggling soldiers. The civilized world just shouldn't tolerate that. This is the pure face of evil, and it must be stopped. Patriots of Russia openly enjoy the scene of cutting off the head of unarmed and wounded Ukrainian soldier who was still alive. And in the internet you can find the confessions of Russians like, I have reviewed this video 10 times. I have experienced real happiness. Can you imagine, these people are still inhabiting the country, and probably they are even dominating it. These cases when Ukrainians were tortured and when they were killed, they really hardens the determination of our soldiers to win. They harden the determination of the democratic world to support ours. And I hope that they will be punished. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for buying me coffees. Thank you for your constant support. The barbarianism cannot be allowed to win. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. See you in my next videos. I hope that they will be more positive and you will enjoy them. But always keep in mind that it's so when you see the peaceful picture around, it's not the whole picture of the planet. There is some spot in Ukraine where it's hard to imagine what is happening. It's really hard to imagine. Thank you. See you next time.